Hello. So we're just looking at a couple stats, and I just think that it's worth a mention just in the grand scheme of things in the marketplace. So, for example, diving right into this, I split the market up into sessions, 8 sessions, session 1 to session 8. This is on symbol at NQ. It could be ES. It's very, very similar to ES. So the S&P, but this is happens to be Nasdaq. Now, we know that futures are a 23-hour a day marketplace. So what happens in the overnight, it may or may not matter, but I do want to specify um, this statistic. Okay. This session expands the current range by breaking a high or a low or both. Okay. So we have the first session from 5 p.m. It starts Central Standard Time. 5 p.m. So it ends the previous day at 1600. It starts at 1700. 100% of the time, it creates a new high and low. Duh, because it's the first session. Okay. The next session, London, 78% of the time, it breaks the high or the low or both that it's already set up during the session one. Okay, moving on to the mid morning or super early morning, 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., there's an 80% chance that it will break the current Globex high or low, or the current high or low. So the first session creates a high and low. The next session, there's a 78% chance of breaking that high or low, or keeps on going up, whatever. The next session after that, there's another 80% chance that it'll break the high or low in that session. The next session after that, 73% chance that this is still expanding. Session 5, the next session after that, now the market opens, and there's an 81% chance during that open, that hour and a half open, it's going to extend the range. It's going to extend and break the high or the low 81% of the time, or both. 10 a.m., the next kind of like mid morning, there's still a 75% chance that it will create a new high or low, or both. It will expand that range of the day. And then lastly brings us to the afternoon, which is 1, and I'm just going to include 3 to 4. So 1 till 4, so that 1 till market close, futures close. And we have a 79% chance of expanding that range. And I looked at this data, it's real. So what does this mean? Dude, that's crazy. It means that the belief that we should have in the market is that we should be in the market because the market moves. Okay, this is not a market that just like you're lucky if you get any move at all and then price stays the same. This thing moves. It literally does, because every single, as time goes on, it continues to want to move and break through ranges. I'm not saying it'll break the high and keep on running high. I'm just saying that it'll break the high. It could come lower, but whatever. It breaks that range. It expands the range. The volatility is like a cone, like a big cone. You know, it goes out. It goes out. It becomes more and more out as time goes on in the day, all the way until all the way until the market close, and then it starts small again, and it goes up. Starts small. You know, that's the breadth of the market. It's at least indices. It just every it I think it pays to be in the market because it moves. And just in case we wanted to know this, I have this diagram here, and we've got session 1, session 2, session 3, session 4, just like I just said. Yellow means that both the high or low is new. Session 2, it breaks the low if it's red. If it's green, it breaks the high. Yellow if it's both, and white if there's no change. It stayed inside that range. And you see that throughout the sessions. Like this day one is like it creates a range and it just breaks the low. The next session breaks the low. Next session breaks the low. Next session breaks the low. And it was just a straight red day. But some of them are mixed, you see? Some of them are super mixed where it's like, it breaks the high and low, high and low. Red, it breaks the low twice in the row, the next session after that. And then the next 3, 4, 5 sessions, it was straight green. It was breaking the high. And like they're split and mixed, and I don't think there's I don't know if there's any predictability about all this, but I'm just saying that this is what the ranges are. This is the market moves. There is no doubt about that. It just simply moves, and just when you thought it doesn't, it does, man. The stats say that it moves. It moves. So every time the session ends, let's say, every time as time goes on throughout the day, throughout the night and throughout the day, the range is expanding, and you can expect it to break the low. Oh, and if it doesn't want to break the low, you can expect it to run at that high, because at the high that it has, because more likely than not, either the low or the high is going to get squashed, dude. You cannot argue with statistics. I can't argue with statistics. 81% of the time, it breaks the high or the low during the first hour and a half of the market open. 81% of the time, high or low or both. So if it runs at that low, dude, if it doesn't turn around, it's going to break the low. It's plain and simple. So when we're trading, we should have this in mind, that this is always expanding, okay? Whether it keeps on beating down the lows or it turns around. If it turns around, you better target that high. Why? Because it doesn't pay otherwise. If it's going to go for the high, just hold your targets all the way to the high, because that's what it's after. At least it seems that way. That it's just after these highs and lows to get squashed. So if it's a range day, yeah, just hold on to them. But anyways, I think it pays to be in the market, because in this day and age, the market moves. There's no doubt about it. The range is completely expanding. That's what the stats say. All the way until the last whistle. All right, peace.